Too sexy and he knows it. It's Bill Carne. Good morning, Bill.
Good morning, Tom. Good morning, Gina. Good morning,
Good
everyone. I
morning.
hope people are out there listening to me rabbiting on.
Oh, yes. No, well, we look forward to it because you give us the roundup of the week and give us what to look forward to over the weekend. And, Bill, it's been a busy week in sport, certainly down the Bridge Meadow.
Yeah, it has 2 games down there, 4 points in the pocket. So that's something that Tony Pennock will be pleased about. I'm likely to be talking to Tony this afternoon for Pure West, ready for your show on Monday. We won't have the weekend's game with that, but I'll have his thoughts on that game. And I think that it was a slight spring in his step because they've had some disappointing results, Tom. Yeah.
Yeah, they've been a victim of conceding late in the match, but they actually got the 3 points on Tuesday evening under the lights against Cardiff Met. But it wasn't all plain sailing towards the end of the match.
No, it definitely wasn't. I mean, it was no score with about quarter of an hour to go. And then Jamie Veal put in a free kick from the left-hand side. Ball was sort of managed to evade all the defenders. And we think it was Mr. Forgotten his name, Kyle Patton, who I think got the touch. There was debate about it or whether it was a goal for Veal, but he went into the net. And that set up the last 10 minutes of high drama because Haverfordwest were forced to defend for that 10 minutes very seriously. And they've been prone to give goals away from set pieces. There was a string of corners, a couple of free kicks. A mixture of good defence and good luck they held out. And a vital 3 points, yeah. I think Cardiff Met will be disappointed not to have had a point in the long run, but who cares? 3 points for the Bluebirds, yeah.
And so who have they got next?
Well, they face another long-distance travel this weekend. They're playing Connors Quay Nomads up at the D-side Stadium. It's very much a fortress there. Connors Quay last week played Carnarvon Town and won 2-0, so that puts them into third place in the league. Having won 5 of their 8 games, Tom and Gina. They play in the D-side Stadium, which is a magnificent stadium. They got all red kit. Their manager's Neil Gibson. What I find is the difference between, say, clubs like Haverfordwest who really do a great job on a limited budget. These people have got money, and they've got players like Michael Wilde as a striker. He scored again on Saturday. He scored 2 on Saturday. He's just got the nose for goals. He's been around a bit. There was talk about him coming to Haverfordwest, but that would never work, him travelling down. And they've got a lad in midfield called Paul Mendes, who is another very good player. George Horan in defence is a tower of a man, and that's the difference. They got big players. When we watched last week against Haverfordwest playing, the difference in Taswell, for example, although they're a division lower, they're huge. They got 5 or 6 players who are taller than any Haverfordwest player. So it needs the ball to be played along the ground. But it's going to be a tough game against Connors Quay. If they play well, they can get a point. They could win it. It's just a matter of what side they can play. It's nice to see Cal Patton was back. It's nice to see that a couple of others are on their way back now. So who knows? It's a challenge.
Yeah, no, it's looking through the team sheet. You've got Cal Patton, you've got Jordan Davis back, you've got Corey Shepherd was back in the squad as well. But you've also got very young players coming through in Harry John and Yori Humphreys. But they're impressive man of the match performances as well.
Well, I tell you, Harry John. The first time I saw him was in Taswell last week in Rwdhar. And, there is this saying, as you get older, even the policemen look very, very young, as if they're in school. Well, this lad is 16 and looks 16. He's small. He's very, very adaptable. He gets knocked over. He did in Taswell. He bounces back, and he does a good job. And Yori is gaining in confidence all the time. He started on Tuesday night because of Jazz Richards not being available. And he played a very solid game at the back. But there's Harry John, and he's got a twin brother who's on the bench as well. And they're going to take some watching, I can tell you that.
Oh, that's brilliant. And something else started off this last week, which, Gina, I'm surprised. Have you ever considered playing indoor women's cricket?
I haven't actually. I've done the kids sort of cricket
Yeah.
as an adult, but that's as far as I've gone actually. We've got the indoor cricket started.
The indoor cricket, yeah. So we previewed the men's league starts off Monday, but the women's one has already started, Bill.
It has, yeah. There were 2 sessions this week, so there's been 8 games. Monday, there were 2 wins apiece for Cresselly and Hook, and defeats for a young Neyland side, although they give Cresselly a scare, and Pembroke be on their debut. Coaches Jack Harris and Luke Butler are working hard with them. And I got to say, Tom, the big difference is it's almost like 2 divisions in one. You've got the very experienced sides like Cresselly, like Hook, Haverfordwest, Burton. They've been playing for a while, and they got new sides in like Carew, Pembroke have got an A and a B side, which is great. So it's growing. Those clubs have got to be patient. They're going to get beaten. They were beaten this week quite comfortably, but they've got people who are really keen. I mean, Pembroke Dock had George Smith, Nick Daly, Peter Kingdom, perhaps others, who were there watching and cheering them on. They act as umpires, they act as scorers. It's a great thing, and you've got to give a shout out to Sam Morrison, the way she runs it. It is fantastic. She supplies me with all the information for Pembrokeshire sport, almost as it happens, and it's a great atmosphere there. And I think the more experienced players, I could list those. They will give advice to the other teams as well. So although they're losing heavily some of the new sides, be patient, girls, because it will come. It's great to see. It really is.
Talking about the indoor cricket, whereabouts is that taking place then?
It's all played at the Hub in Neyland, which is a fantastic new facility, Gina. There's a nice viewing gallery. You can always get a cup of coffee there. It's worth going along to cheer them on. It really is a nice evening. And that's 2 evenings this week. There'll be one from now on, one evening, and then there'll be one evening of the men's. And it's great to see it going on. It isn't being played as much as it used to around Wales. So Pembrokeshire is a pivotal point. And of course, with Neyland men ruling the roost for a number of years now, certainly in Wales, it's a county that's looked up to for its indoor cricket.
Brilliant.
Yeah, that's brilliant. It's fantastic to hear about. And the men's game, they've got a new rule book. Bill, have you had a chance to look over it yet?
Yes, I have. And there's nothing in there that's dreadful. They're all common sense. Peter Davis has done a wonderful job. He took over from Wendy Bradshaw, and they said they have a big pair of boots to fill, and he's only got a small pair of boots. He's only but he was a fiery prop as well. Now, Patrick Hannan's taken over. Now, you've interviewed Sean a few times. You've interviewed Patrick this week. No one could do a better job. If you look at the setup already, all the fixtures are laid out. All the umpires are laid out. It's all done in Patrick's way. He's a both those boys, Sean and Patrick. Patrick is coming to the fore with this now. You watch, he'll do a brilliant job with that.
No, it's amazing. It was inspiring listening to Patrick. He's just on it, is the only way I can describe it. He knows exactly what he wants from this indoor league, not only this season, but next season as well. He's trying to increase the standard so it's the 12 overs and to get them ready for the indoor competition that happens in Lords, where, of course, we've been represented before.
I tell you what, Tom, he's been the organiser of the Neyland Fantasy Cricket, which is open to everybody around the county. And nobody could do a better job than Patrick. Paddy! Nobody could do a better job than our Patrick. Yeah.
And then, of course, we interviewed Patrick on Monday night for the Pure Sports Show with Eden Evans and Morris. And you've been catching up with, we've got some interviews for this coming Monday as well, haven't we, Bill?
Yeah, we have. We've got Dave Astons, who's well known with the triathlon. He's a very, very gifted athlete. He organised the Dale event last week, so Fraser's talking to him. And that'll be very interesting, I'm sure. And he's talking to Clive James, Hank Harrod's dad. He's another Dutch. I don't know if Gina knows Clive. He played rugby at outside half for Narberth. I remember him once he sidestepped himself as well as the other team and fell in it. But he's a lovely, lovely bloke. He prints all the programmes for Narberth and other clubs. He does a brilliant job with that. And he'll be interesting because he's so proud, but he's so understated as well, So, they'll be good. I'm going to be talking perhaps to Tony Pennock today. I will talk to someone from Haverfordwest County. If Tony's not there, he will be there, I'm sure. And someone from the world of rugby as well.
Oh, fantastic. And Clive James, of course, Wales women have got their big playoff match against Bosnia this coming Thursday. And Clive was interviewed on the BBC pitch side on their last match when Anne Harrod got her 100th cap. We've got a Welsh legend from our corner of the world. It's amazing, isn't it?
No, she has represented this county and Wales with amazing style. To play that number of games, she's still relatively young, and she is, very modest about all she does. She doesn't really like going on the radio to talk. She does now come on, and it's great. But she needed a bit of coaxing at the start. I can tell you that. I remember the first time I interviewed her. And Clive is Clive. He's a great guy. The family are totally supportive. It was a recipe success from the start.
Yeah, and Howard, of course, getting 100th cap was involved in all the press briefings, Gina. And she's so humble and she's so kind, and everyone's saying, congratulations, you're 100 caps. And she spent the whole time talking about other people about her dad and how he's supporting about them, Jess Fishlock and Tash Harding. Yeah. She doesn't take the praise on herself. She's fantastic. And yet her dad, Clive, was a rugby man. And Bill, we've got all of these fixtures coming up over the weekend.
Yeah, we have indeed. It's a full program. It's back to normality, the league fixtures, not those daft things we had last week. Do you know, Gina, it's so unfair to clubs with the Welsh Rugby. I got on my little rant. Yeah. They play this league, and it's like a round-robin cup. And every team has 3 games. But some clubs will have 2 home games, some will have 2 away. And for the travel, it costs £600 for a bus. So if you're unlucky,
discussing that before.
If you're unlucky to have 2 away games, that's £1,200, and your club won't be open to get any dosh from local matches. So Tom and I were talking about Neath playing Narberth on Saturday. Neath at one time were the most feared side in Europe, no doubt about that. Kevin Phillips, who I've interviewed a few times for Pure Rest, he was the captain then and a fearsome player. Played for Wales as well. So for Narberth to be travelling to Neath, it's again, let's sing the praises of the club. Well organised, knows where it's going, and Sean Gale he's good at recruiting players. So that's a game. And then in Division 1, we've got Crimmoch at home to Vellinvoel. Crimmoch have made a good start, so Vellinvoel, that's the top game in that division. Pembroke travel to Llanelli Wanderers, and Whitland play at home to Llangennech. So there's plenty of rugby in that division. And we got Fishguard against Pontyberem away in Division 2, Tenby home to Lycha, Nantgaredig playing Milford Haven, and then of course all the local derbies that we tend to get in Division 3 West A as well.
Gosh, busy.
It's so much going on, isn't there? And of course, Pontyberem Division 2, you'd think, the club, the Division 2, you'd think that there'd be a committed side and things like that. But Pontyberem couldn't get a field last week either in that cup game, could they?
That's one of the problems that are growing, Tom. There were several clubs around Wales who couldn't get a team, and sadly Langham couldn't sensibly dropped out because, again, they had 2 away games. And you say, well, it sounds awful, but what's in it for them? Because a nice little message there. Great to see you at our match last week, Bill. Thank you, Tenby. I'm sure that's Jonathan Evans, but it's lovely. I love watching the local stuff. I'll be watching something this weekend, guaranteed. Yeah.
Yeah. So the full list of matches there. So there's going to be rugby in your neighbourhood if you want to go down and look at those matches. And there's something else you want to talk about, Bill. A carrot.
Yeah, if you talk about local sport, Gina and I have spoken about it. What's lovely about it, Cliff, I've been involved, you're much worse half over the years. and it's the camaraderie. And if you look, I went to watch Fishguard play Tenby. On the adjoining pitch was Goodick playing St. Clair, so I'd have a gander at that as well. And they asked me would I take a picture and do a little bit about a very special presentation there. And Anthony Sinnott was known to all as Carrot because of his hair colouring at one time. He was a very good player with Goodick. He played in 1987-88 in their senior cup when they won that. I got a nice picture of that on my website at the moment. And it was a lovely moment in that match because his wife Alison was there along with a large extended family, and they were making a special presentation, what they'd asked when Carrot died, far too young. They, in lieu of flowers, they said it would go to Goodick Junior section. So Alison and all the family were there. Pat O'Brien, who was an uncle of his, and Brian Morris, who received a lovely cheque for a magnificent sum, which was spent solely for the good of junior football in Goodick. Isn't that great? Very moving moment. But I think to the family, what a lovely, lovely thought. So well done to Alison and the family. I was moved by that, I have to say.
Yeah. Oh, that is really lovely. And it's great that you were there at the right time, at the right place to be part of that moment as well. And of course, Goodick still 100%, along with Hakin in the Division 1. So there's fixtures this weekend if the rain holds off. It's not looking promising, is it?
Yeah.
Bill, is there anything else that we need to cap over before the weekend starts?
No, there's this football is on its way. This weekend is the Senior Cup first round. Will there be any shocks there? There's a few banana skins, but if people go on to pembrokeshiresport.co.uk, all the fixtures are there.
Yeah. And you get the match reports. You get the
Yeah,
full
they'll
match
be there.
reports after the fixtures as well. I love pembrokeshiresport.co.uk.
Are we doing any predictions this week?
Oh, predictions.
Well, I thought you were flushed with success last time, Gina, quite rightly, because Fraser and I bumbled on and went for the safe options, and we tied. Other than I claim a victory, because when we had exactly the same predictions, I did say that I'd go for Bridge over Monkton Swifts, and that was proved right. So I claim a victory there. I don't care what Fraser said. He hates being beaten by an old man. But you just promptly piped up and said, I think Merlin's Bridge will definitely win that. And they got hammered the week before, and Monkton had won. And they beat Monkton 6-0. 6-2.
Wow.
6-2. Better get it right.
Right in there.
Yeah.
So you had a 100% record. So if we do that, perhaps next week, me, you, and Tom,
Yeah.
let's have a time to study the form. Have a look on my website. You'll see the.
Oh no, I don't need to do any of that. I just pluck something out of the air. I don't need to see any. Yeah.
I'm like that with horse racing. Yeah,
That's exactly yes.
Definitely. Bill, you just mentioned a phrase there, which of course I don't agree with. You're more experienced than the rest of us, and of course there was a report this week. It's just come back flooding my mind about moderate weight resistance. Bill, are you heading down the gym anytime soon?
There's absolutely no chance of that. When I had my heart stent fitted a year ago, I did go to the gym.
Of course,
and
you
Gina,
did, yes.
Gina will know. Cliff might well be the same. I went on rehab courses, and the first one was very, very orientated towards dance and music almost. So we had to do all the music, all the exercise we were doing on a bench and things like that to music. And I had to have a mirror. I had to stand in front of a mirror because I couldn't, coordinate my movements. So, and then I hurt my back on the second one. So there's absolutely no chance.
Oh, you're out for the season.
No, I'm out for good.
Oh, for good.
Gina,
well,
as I
on
keep
that
saying,
note, on that note, Bill, come on then. What is your song request for this week? Because I always look forward to this.
Well, it's Cupid by Sam Cooke. Now, Sam got shot in America, died. He was a lovely gospel singer. The back end of that, the B-side, is Farewell, My Darling, which is one of my favourites. But Cupid and Chain Gang, which was a play on the fact of the blacks having to work as slaves, dreadful on chain gangs in America. And the plaintiffs, you listen to that, Gina, Chain Gang, and you will be moved, I tell you. That's like Lavi Seafrey with his song. But have a listen to Cupid, it's gorgeous.
It is gorgeous. Another song.
Tom gave us some interesting alternative words. Perhaps he'd like to sing that out on air. But
There you go.
He knows his lyrics this time. Better than the original artist, I can tell you.
It was Sam that got it wrong.
Yeah, definitely. Cupid, draw back your bow and let your arrow go.
Oh, it's such a good song. You might know the song that was made popular by a Will Smith film, History. It's the opening credits on there. So Sam Cooke's coming up. Bill, as ever, thank you so much for your time on this Friday morning.
Okay, thank you. Thank Gina. And I hope everyone has a good weekend with sport.
There you go. Let's hope that, no injuries, good results and entertaining sports this weekend. It's coming up to 25 minutes past 7 o'clock on Feel Good Friday with Pem's Paving, Traffic and Travel and Sam Cooke Cupid on the way.
Feel Good Friday with Pem's Paving. Your one-stop shop for driveways,